What's going on, everybody? If you hear my voice, you know what time it is. It's Friday, another weekly installment of your favorite show and your favorite person's favorite show. It's your boy Big Nard coming to you live and direct once again. I want to send a special shout out to everybody that listened to the show. Thank y'all for making the show what it is. Oh man, where do I begin? Where do I begin? Um, as I said on the last episode, I was going to the Podfest this year, and I went last week, so I'm going to bring y'all up to speed on my experience at Podfest 2020. I'm also going to just touch on a few things I learned out there and give shouts out to a lot of incredible people that I met while I was out there. It definitely was an eye-opening experience, and I hope to get to go each and every single year. Special shout out to Buzz Sprout for allowing me to go. But before I get into all that, I just want to start by saying 2020, y'all. Oh, man. 2020 has kicked off with a bang in a bad way. I don't even know how to sum up some of the events that has transpired in 2020 in comparison to all the other years of my life. Just in a quick sum up of things, unfortunately, I've lost two pillars of my family, two great men. Two of my uncles have passed away. Shouts out to my Uncle Ronnie and shouts out to my Uncle Ernest. Just to name a few things. Of course, the untimely demise of Kobe Bryant and his daughter Gianni, as well as 7 other passengers on I don't even know what you want to call it, helicopter that went down. Because I'm a hip hop fan, and I know this doesn't maybe hit home with a lot of people, but the untimely death of the young rapper Pop Smoke, just at the tender age of 20 years old. I live in Nashville, Tennessee, for anybody that's new to the show and isn't familiar with me. And a week prior to going to Podfest, it was a tornado that devastated a lot of areas that I frequent in Nashville, killing 25 people and displacing and just the emotional toll that it left on the city, as well as people that were affected heavily or people that were affected because they had people that were affected. So 2020, to say the least, you all has been the most trying emotional year for your boy, Big Nod. It's just been a whirlwind of emotions, a roller coaster of emotions from one month to another in this short year so far. We just got to band together and be strong, and hopefully things will take a turn for the better. To all the people that's been affected by the tornado, I send my prayers and my condolences and whatever support that I can send to you. To all the people that's been affected by the untimely passing. Also, I can't forget to say Janae Dubois, who played such an intricate role in my life, being an actress, also passed away. I don't want to skip over her. But, wow, is all I can say. It's wow. But moving forward, and I don't want to gloss over all the tragedy and all the unfortunate circumstances that has happened. But we got to keep putting one foot forward, one foot after another, and keep moving and keep on moving. So I'm gonna switch gears and touch on my experience at Podfest 2020. Um, so I took my father with me down to Orlando, and I didn't know what to expect going to Podfest. I really didn't. I was kind of back and forth for a lot of days and a lot of weeks on whether I wanted to go or not. And not necessarily because I didn't want to go to Podfest, but because of my own circumstances. I mean, you got things going on at home, you got money aspects, you got different things, and all those things played a part in my decision on possibly not going. But I felt like someone was pulling me to Orlando to Podfest, and it was like an unexplainable feeling. And so, after battling back and forth in my mind, I knew that I needed to go. I knew that I needed to experience Podfest, and I knew that it was something that was drawing me out there, and I'm happy that I went. From the first night I got there, Thursday, I touched down. Well, I had a very turbulent flight with a lot of turbulence, so anybody that flies or anybody that hasn't flown, that isn't a great experience. But I was able to make it safely and unscathed, as well as the rest of the people on the flight. And so I touched down and checked into my hotel, and I knew it was almost like a destiny for me to make it there, because the moment I check in, there's a few people in line. Actually, there's several people in line to check in. And I remember just glancing over and seeing this young lady and not really thinking too much of it. But just kind of glancing a couple of times, not thinking too much. Make a long story short, I get my keys, and they direct me to a welcoming booth, and they were gonna have a packet for me and things like that. So they say, you go over to the welcoming booth, and they'll tell you, how to get to your room and everything like that. So by the time I make it over to the welcoming center, the same young lady that I had glanced at was also by the welcoming center. Actually, she was in front of me, but it was two people, so it kind of like branched off. She went one way, I went the other way to talk to one person, and she went to speak to another young lady. So before I got up there, they had already addressed her and asked her, what was her reason for being in town, and she said Podfest. So instantly, it was just like every apprehension that I had about coming was put to rest just in that moment, because it's just like I met another person that was here for the same thing, and it just kind of like brought a smile to my heart and my face at the moment. So I quickly respond, "Hey, I'm here for Podfest too," And by that time, she was already finishing up, so I was trying to handle my business, and she kind of waited. So as we both exit the hotel lobby, we kind of sort of pick up on a conversation, and I kind of asked her about her podcast, and she asked me about about my podcast. So we kind of chatted up for like 15 minutes, just about what my show was about and what her show was about. And she also has a YouTube, her and a gentleman that she does the show with. And I just want to send big love to her way. The name of her podcast is So you're ready. So you think you're ready for black love. So if anybody's listening that's interested, I checked out a few episodes. She's definitely dope. Her name is Angel. And the podcast is So You Think You're Ready for Black Love. It's on YouTube and it's on streaming platforms. So big up to Angel. And the show was dope. So I ended up seeing Angel at Podfest, and I ended up seeing her at the hotel a couple of times. Very dope person, very dope individual. Very nice and kind, and I'm happy that I met her. Moving forward, Buzzsprout. Shouts out to Buzzsprout. Plug Buzzsprout. Buzzsprout had a opening event party at Splitsville in Orlando on Disney, and I was having some trouble with my directions, but I was already kind of late making it there. I think it started at like 4:30, ended at like 8:30. I probably made it there like 7:20. Just to give y'all guys an example of what time I made it there. My flight didn't land until like 4:50, FYI. So, well, I finally arrived, and I was overwhelmed by how dope the event was. I mean, first class, first rate. I was starving. Like, I literally hadn't eaten anything, and I didn't know what to expect going to the party. But they had a great menu, a great buffet laid out, chicken tenders, burgers, nachos, you name it. And then they gave out sort of like raffle tickets for drinks. But I probably had like 6 raffle tickets, just to give you an example of. It was kind of like an endless situation, as well as all the bowling lanes and everything was only privy to us. We were upstairs on the second floor. Dope ambiance, dope people, dope event. Just being in a room with people who are dealing with and going with the same experiences in the whole world of podcasting was very enlightening and very comforting and comfortable for me. I just met some of the most creative, innovative, dope people that I've ever met in my life. And you couldn't have told me 20 years ago that I would be in a room full of people that were creators, innovators, and just all around dope people in a different light than what I was accustomed to. So just on that note, I want to tell people out there, you never know the travels that life will take you. You just got to hang in there. You just got to persevere through. And you don't know what's on the other side. You don't know what is in store for you and where you may go. So, to get back to the party, off top, when I get upstairs, I go to the greeting table and I'm met by people who are just happy, excited, positive, and just want to know about my show, and vice versa. I want to know about their show. So I talked to so many different people, and I was fortunate enough to meet a gentleman by the name of Alvin Brooke, who is head of marketing of Buzzsprout, who is a dope individual in his own right. And I really like that dude. So shouts out to Alvin. Big shouts out to Alvin. And I also met Zoe of the Bitchin' and Whining podcast, who I checked out y'all. So dope content. Just all around dope, fresh show. So shouts out to the Bitchin' and Whining podcast. They out of Quebec, if I'm not mistaken. Forgive me if I'm wrong, Zoe. I also was fortunate enough to meet Lulu Picard and of the 10K dollar a day podcast. And her and I can't remember the young lady's name off the top of my head, but they were both dope. And I checked out y'all's show, and like I tweeted her that I was inspired. And I definitely was inspired. Like, just tuning in to other people's show and hearing what they have to offer and listening to the sound quality and the topics that they have is definitely inspirational. And I'm definitely a student of the game, so I'm taking notes of what I can do to be better and what I can do to enhance my own show. And I'm hoping that somebody out there is listening to my show and inspired to a certain degree. And just to see people doing it, just to see people using their minds to put together, a podcast or whatever it is that you do, So I also was greeted and met a young lady who I'm not sure. I don't think that she does podcasting, but she publishes books. And I was able to also see her at Podfest. And I spoke to her about a bunch of different things. And as a matter of fact, you are on my phone right here, and I'm trying to guess a bunch of different things. And when I could just pull it up, so y'all just bear with me because I want to make sure I give everybody the love and the light they deserve for impacting me. So let me just look up. She was a part of Book Launchers, and it's an all-inclusive publish, write, and sell your book. They do writing, editing, design, publishing, promotion. So anybody that's listening that thought about, doing a book, reach out to them. I turned on to my homie Turtle because he got a dope story. And hopefully they can do some incredible things in the future. I'm also trying to get the name of a couple other interesting people that I was able to meet, and I want to get the other co-host of the 10K dollar a day show's name so that I can make sure I show her some love too. She deserve it. She definitely deserve it. I hate that I'm fumbling up her name and everything like that. So y'all bear with me. It's coming up, y'all. But yeah, just overall dope party. Allison Burns. Shouts out to Allison, y'all. She's also the other host on 10K dollar a day. And they're like a comedy team. So, bunch of different other podcasts out there. If y'all interested in listening to some different podcasts, it's enough podcasts to go around. So, so that was dope. And it ended at 8:30, but we ended up staying. Me and my father was mingling, and he was excited and happy and was having a good time. I was happy to see that he was having a good time. Actually, I still haven't even went through my package since I've been back home. I just got right back off the plane and got right back to it. Sometime in life you gotta and able to take off of work You got to work very, very hard and more days leading up to taking off. And then when you get back, you got to go right back to working real, real hard just to try to make up for the couple of days that you took off. So that's kind of where I'm at with it. And anybody that can relate know what I'm saying. So I really hadn't even had a chance to just like process, go through some of the information that I got, and just go over all the cards and people gave me and, shout them out. Also, Bodacious Family podcast. I was able to meet them. Very dope people. And these are just some of the people that was at the Buzzsprout party. So that night ended, and they had an after party back at the Marriott World Resort, but I ended up not going. Of course, as you imagine, I was very tired. From my flight and just being up and doing that. So the next day, I was all prepared to get to the Podfest, and go to a bunch of seminars. I had a couple of seminars that I wanted to go to. But what I ended up getting when I got there was overwhelming. I got there, checked out, and got my name tag, credential, and went in the main floor. And they had a bunch of booths set up, informational, and just different people to meet and talk to, whether it be hosting sites, publishers, sponsors, you name it. And so kind of my plans went out the window because I got there, and from one booth to another, it was so interesting and just making connections with people that 6 hours blew past in a blink of an eye. And I was able to meet a very dope JBL. Shouts out to JBL. JBL, I'm here if y'all want to do a sponsorship. Just saying, JBL. I was able to meet JBL had a trailer set up, and they had studio equipment, and then they had a studio set up in the back, as well as a podcasting studio set up in the back. So as I entered the JBL studio trailer, it was a group of people in the back that had formed and was looking at things. Well, when I walk in, they was doing like an improv podcast. So they kind of waved me over, and I just kind of joined in the improv podcast. And I was able to meet some dope people in that and had a very good time doing that. And I came across a very interesting guy by the name of David Bennett, who has a podcast called I Needed This. And let me tell you, first off, David tried to clown me. Not really, but we got on the topic of social media. And y'all know I always plug my Twitter. But I'm a little older than some people. And he was a little younger than me. And he was like, well, man, you got Instagram? And I was like, nah. And he kind of laughed. And he was like, he's a motivational type of podcast. So I knew this guy was in the right lane, because at that moment he was like, in true motivational form, he was like, listen, Big Nard, go ahead and start an Instagram right now. I'm going to shoot you out to all my friends. Go ahead. I'm challenging you right now. And I was like, you definitely in the right lane, a podcaster, because if you can inspire me to try to start an Instagram right on the spot, you definitely got a gift. And so shouts out to my main man, David Bennett. We got some incredible things coming up too in the future. But I checked out his show, and he got a specific episode, his most latest one, that I just checked out, that I actually let a few people listen to. It's called Out of the Darkness. And I'm telling you, this guy is so well spoken and articulate into what he's saying in an inspirational, motivational way. you definitely will not leave his podcast without taking something from it. So if you need to pick me up, if you need some motivation, if you're going through a hard time, trust me. Tune in, subscribe to my man Dave's podcast. I Needed This by David Bennett. Shouts out to my main man Dave. But so I did that, and unfortunately I wasn't able to stay till Sunday. I had to get back, and Saturday I just kind of breezed around, checked out some more stuff, met some more people, and was able to connect with a lot of people on social media. Let me give you some more names of people that I was able to meet. The Blackout Podcast, One Love. Hold on, y'all, I'm coming. 21st Man Podcast, One Love. Hold on, y'all, I'm coming. Podcast, One Love. I'm coming, y'all. I can't forget one of the homies I met who was a very dope guy. Balancing Sports Pod, very, very dope podcast. I was able to meet them, and I was able to meet JB, and I really like what they doing, and I really like his enthusiasm. He's a big Boston fan, all things Boston. So shouts out to Balancing Sports Pod. Also, hold on. Got one more person I want to shout out. Audio Vita. Audio Vita is not a podcast. It is a website. And it's for production and distribution as well as audiobooks. So check them out if you're interested in any of that. And just big love to all the people at Buzzsprout for putting on a dope event and getting us all out there to the Podfest. Also, I met a dope couple, a dope tandem. They're married, and they from my hometown, Chi-Town, Chicago. And the name of their podcast is Me to We Talk. And they discuss all things, as you can imagine, relationship-based. So that's Me to We Talk by my Chicago family. I just wanted to share some love on Podfest and big up some people that, I recommend y'all check out. Also, I met another couple from Atlanta. And he does a podcast. It's called Ugly Money Nietzsche. And he kind of sort of interviews a lot of influencers and celebrities. So if you're into that type of thing, he got YouTube and he on all streaming platforms. So shout out to Ugly Money Nietzsche and his show, One Love. I'm trying to make sure I don't miss the people that impacted me in a certain way. Hold on one second, y'all. I'm coming, I promise. And that's about it, y'all. Rose Gold Covered. The name of her podcast is Heartbreak Hill Podcast. And I didn't meet her. I saw her when I was out there, but I didn't meet her. I didn't talk to her. But in my timeline on Twitter, I saw her name, and she commented or talked on somebody who I met out there. So I checked her podcast out, and she definitely has a dope show. So one love to Heartbreak Hill podcast. So, but yeah, y'all. I mean, it definitely was an experience going out there, meeting people, and just listening to these people podcasts and how developed and far along they are in the quality of the work that they do. It made me want to step my game up. Not that I'm trying to compete or not that I'm trying to be like anybody else, but just in the sense of giving y'all the best product possible. And that's what I plan to do. I've been inspired to the 10th power. I saw a bunch of dope equipment, microphones and everything. So, but a funny story real quick, y'all, sidebar. So, I get out there and I'm always kind of sort of the ill prepared in the sense of like material things. Like I'm prepared as far as being prepared to speak and being prepared to explain things, but I'm traditionally not prepared when it comes to like having the stuff I need to have as far as like materials, whether it be gear. Obviously, I went to Podfest. I didn't have any shirts representing the podcast. I didn't have any cards, anything. Not that I even knew to bring any cards. So I'm I'm out there. Everybody giving out their cards, and when you meet people, they like, "Oh, what's your podcast about?" And "Oh, let's connect. Here's my card." Or just asking me because I don't have anything representing it, and I just felt terrible. But you best believe next year I'm gonna be on my stuff. I'm gonna have what I need to have. I'm gonna have cards, T-shirts, and we're gonna be big out there. My goal is to be a keynote speaker and have my own booth out there in the next year or two. So I'm definitely gonna make that happen. So yeah, that was dope. But switching gears, y'all, moving forward. The coronavirus is among us. Back to 2020, like I was saying. On top of all this, all the things I listed in the beginning, now we have corona, and it has affected the world tremendously. Whether you're a conspiracy theorist, whether you're all in on the corona, whether you're not, I just ask you to be safe and take whatever precautions you need to take and do whatever you need to do to protect you and your family. And we can all weather the storm and come out clean and better on the other side. But it's just horrible that it's come to this. And, schools closing and NCAA. Both of my daughter's school closed. And as well as my elementary school kids. I mean, not my elementary school, my middle school kids and high school kids as well. And it's just affecting everybody and everything. And, I feel bad for, student athletes in college who NCAA has canceled all tournaments. And, for some of those guys, they seniors and they worked hard their whole career. And I'm just empathetic in the fact that their season is over and they don't get to go out on their own terms. Not saying that I want them to play, because I want them to be safe and healthy, as opposed to that, and live another day and play another day. So I understand the precautionary measures that's being taken and everything, and we just got to do what we got to do to move forward. So, I just wish the best for everybody, truly. And, do what they say, wash your hands, and if you need to self-quarantine or whatever you feel like you need to do so. But 2020, y'all, 2020 has been nothing short of the most trying year that I can remember. And I've been paying in my mind to try to see what year has been as trying with so many worldly events, not just in my own personal life, just that has impacted everyone. And I can't think of a year. But what it is showing everybody in these trying times is together we can conquer all. Together we better than alone. So if you can't take nothing from all this, take that. And moving forward, trying to think, had I checked out any movies or anything? Oh, I haven't checked out any movies, but I have checked out new. Anybody that follows hip hop, Jay Electronica dropped his new project, and I give it a solid B plus. It's definitely worth the listen. It's definitely thought provoking, and I think to the true hip hoppers, you would enjoy it. So go check that out. But it's 2020, y'all. On the other side, when I'm doing a 2020 wrap up podcast, we're gonna discuss everything that has happened in 2020, and I hope it only get great from here. But switching gears, y'all, I'm gonna go ahead and get into because there's a couple of things I need to address in my legend of the week. So I'm gonna go ahead and get into my quote of the week. And my quote of the week, y'all, I just been trying to think of a quote that was fitting of the time and everything that we're going through with Corona and just 2020, y'all. And I was, I do it off the cuff. I don't look up stuff. I just go with emotion and feeling. And I couldn't pinpoint, a quote per se that I wanted to use. But what I will say is my quote of the week will be, "We can get through this." We can get through this is my quote of the week. And I just mean everything. On a national scale, on a personal scale, we can get through this. Lean on somebody, do whatever you need to do. Help somebody if you can, but we can get through this. And I mean we metaphorically, but I mean we as in us people. So we can get through this, you all. And my song of the week is by Frankie Beverly and Maze, and it's called "We Are One." With everything that's been going on, tragedy, my whole feeling is togetherness, and "We Are One" is a great song. It's really not dealing with, people as a whole. It's more dealing with a relationship, but all in all, it's still a great record. And my legend of the week, like I said in the beginning of it, I lost two uncles. Well, here recently, just this week, my uncle Ernest passed away. He was a giant in my family. When your family lose somebody as paramount as him, it just definitely shakes the whole family. He's been a pillar in our family. He's been a staple in my life. My whole life, I've never lived a day without knowing that my Uncle Ernest was around or just living. So, in the smallest form, when you think about things like that, like your whole life you've been living, and this person been living since before you was born, and after you was born, known this person, and now they gone. It's definitely a sobering, saddened feeling. He was an outstanding person, a master barbecuer, grill master. That's what they calling it now. Jack of all trades, outstanding carpenter, outstanding father, outstanding husband, grandfather, etc. I was down on my luck years ago and trying to figure things out, and I was a young man and I had a young child, and he allowed me to come work with him a couple of times. He was going to do some work, carpentry work, which I knew nothing about. I didn't get a whole lot of money, but it helped me. The money helped me get some things that I needed to get for myself and my daughter, and I'm forever thankful for that. My father and my grandma were very, very close with him, as well as everybody in the family, but those two. So I want to definitely send a shout out to my grandma and my father. And like my quote of the week, we'll get through this. But just knowing a world without somebody that was so special, living in a world without somebody that's so special is it's just tough, y'all. It's tough. So my legend of the week is my Uncle Ernest. May he rest in peace. And to all who loved him and known him, thank you. So it's my legend of the week, y'all. Rest in peace to my Uncle Ernest. And if you got loved ones and people in these trying times, let them know how you feel. Let them know how you feel. Tell them what they mean to you. And there's nothing wrong with, showing somebody love, y'all. But that'll do it for your boy this week. Thank y'all again for the continued support. Don't forget to hit that button, subscribe, send some comments at Pros Vols, capital P, capital V. And just one love to everybody. One love to everybody. And I'll see y'all next week, or y'all hit me next week. One love, y'all. I'm out.